What's up, everybody? Hi, guys. It's Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar, back at it again. Unpopular Opinions Live. How are you doing, family? I think it's been about a week since I came with a program. It's to be expected. Nowadays my videos are a bit more sporadic. Especially I'm here in Europe, so I don't have a lot going on. But anyway, I do want to first give a big shout out to the customers at africansuperstar.com. Please head over to the website www.theafricansuperstar.com. Also, big shout outs to our members only. Also, big shout outs to the supporters of the music project. We are still pushing forward to our 3,000 subscribers when I will drop my new music video, Come Chill With Me, which will be my fourth official music video. So keep on getting that rolling and we'll be able to drop that for the channel. I want to go ahead and come with the unpopular opinions live that, you know, it blows my mind. It really boggles my mind. And I want to talk about it, which is Black people are not taught self preservation, and it is crazy. It's crazy. Um, Seeing different demographics of Black populations, first living in America, then moving to the UK, and then ultimately settling in Ghana, I see the perspective, some of the perspectives of our people worldwide. And what is so unfortunate and what is so obvious is that our people are not focused on self preservation. They're not focused on the future. They're not focused on, you know, I can't even. I struggle to articulate it. I mean, it's like it's the largest cognitive dissonance that I have ever seen in my life, which is you don't understand that what you put in, theoretically and figuratively, is what you get out. What I see in my people, unfortunately, is a huge trust in government, which is crazy. And I can't say that's only exclusive to my people. I mean, people worldwide trust the government, believe that the government is operating in the interest of all, or the greater good, and all of that. The other really huge hindrance, in my opinion, is religion. You know, we like to believe in a savior. We want to believe in, this third party that's just and kind and fair and moral, that's going to set the stage. When the world that we live in, the world that we've always lived in, the world that our ancestors have lived in, and all documented history has attested, this figure does not insert themselves anywhere. But yet we still believe that one day somehow it's going to work out. The truth is self-preservation, okay? Which is something that we don't even like to have the conversation with our young people. I'm not going to include myself because I do have the conversation with the young people in my life. But a lot of you guys don't want to have the conversation, okay? You don't want to promote Black love. You don't want to promote the continent. You don't want to promote Pan-Africanism or pro-Blackness. You don't tell your kids what preferences they should have and why, okay? And even those of you that have learned along the way different information, things that you've seen in your travels, or things that you've read, or things that you've ultimately come to know, you refuse to instill it in our young people. Do you really think that if young Black people were promoted to live a certain way and have a certain ideology and carry themselves in a certain direction, do you not think that if we were grooming our young people to be opportunistic in regards to what's available on the continent, that they wouldn't utilize it? Do you really think that? The truth is, Black people are not promoted to practice self-preservation. All the other races are. In ethnic backgrounds, all of them are. In other cases, you will see that there would be a preference for someone else's countryman, that person. Like, so let's say if we go to China. Okay, big shout out to the African Superstar family. Guys, please put the likes up. Moderators, anybody with a wrench, let me know what time it is with the likes, because y'all been slipping on these likes. So let's get on code. Okay, come in the room, greet me in the chat, and be a part of this conversation. Okay, if anybody here, we've only got 8 of you guys, so this might be a gamble. Okay, have any of you guys been to Asian nations, or India? Or maybe even France. Let me see a number 1. Places where the ethnic background is quite obvious or the language spoken is quite obvious. Let me just see a number 1, because I'm going to drive this home. Okay. If you've been to any places like that, you will immediately notice that there will be a preference for those countrymen. Okay, so let's say 2 of you guys go into a bank in China, okay, or Korea or something like that. All right. And you guys both want to do business. Okay, that Asian person is going to prefer their own people first. If there's an opportunity on the table, between a foreigner and a Chinese person, an Asian person, whatever, they're going to preference their own people. Okay. Many of us have never been to Russia. And I think it's very clear that if we went to Russia, the Russians would choose the Russian people over a foreigner, certainly over a Black. But the strange thing about our people is we prefer non-Black people to our own people. Guys, this is learned behavior. I'm sorry. Okay. Most of you guys are teaching inclusion to your kids. Yes. Most of you guys are teaching tolerance to your children, all of that. Listen, you just need to be honest. All right. And it's nothing negative. It's nothing derogatory. It's just the facts. Do you guys know anything called extinction? Anybody who knows what extinction means? Let me see a number 2. What's up, family? If you're here, be a part of the conversation today. I'm going to start shout outs. If you guys understand what extinction is, if you know what extinction is, number 2. All right. If you've ever dealt with any children, for instance, they're very, very inquisitive. All right. Sometimes, I know when I was a little kid, we learned a lot about these dinosaurs, right? We even went to the museum in Columbus, I believe. I saw an exhibit of these fossils and these big dinosaur, exhibits. They took all the bones and they assembled them in the shape of a dinosaur. A child would ask you, Mommy, Daddy, auntie, uncle, teacher, pastor, well, what happened to the dinosaurs? How come there's no more modern day dinosaurs? Okay. There's no more modern day dinosaurs and many other species and many other things and people and places and everything due to extinction. Okay. When you talk self-preservation to Black people, it's like a cardinal sin. But the reality is, if the Black man and the Black women are not together producing Black children for the future, they will cease to exist. The truth is, if we don't practice and preference our own cultures, our own homeland, our own indigenous languages, it will cease to exist. Period. It's called extinction. And Black people are just in la la land because they see many, many other Black people around, especially in Africa. The concept of one day there wouldn't be a Black person or Black families is just like something that they never think about. But the reality is, as more and more of us are not perpetuating our people in the future, this is a very, very real thing. I could say about, let's say, I'm now 39 years old. I look good, look so good. Yesterday, I ran into this 19-year-old, And he asked me how old I was, and I told him, and he was absolutely shocked. And I was like, wow, I must look good, because usually young kids, young people, they'll see you be old. But yes. So let me say, about 25 years ago. All right. So 25 years ago, the rate of interracial dating was less. The rate of, you know, publicly recognized or, very visible homosexual couples and all of that was much more undercover, or not as promoted, or not as visible, whatever. Also, this transgender stuff, definitely not a super relevant topic, issue kind of thing. um so why I bring that up is because people think what I'm talking is crazy. People think what I'm talking, it could just never come to pass. In my very own lifetime, I've seen dramatic changes in many, many areas, and social changes. Okay. Back when I was in high school, for instance, people that were thought to be homosexuals, or rumored to be homosexuals, or just kind of had a certain kind of demeanor or whatnot, many of them did not want that stigma. Many of them tried their very best to conceal it or hide it, or it took them a long time to even, publicly come out and say, yes, I'm homosexual, whatever. Okay. Um, that is like completely night and day. Now people that are living that lifestyle, or, portraying themselves in that way, it's like what can I really say? How can I describe it properly? It seems to be a very profitable thing, something that's celebrated, something that is very, very explicit and very, very pronounced in our culture. It's gotten to the point that you can't even disagree with it publicly, or just say that you don't prefer it, or that you're not interested in it, because that is just seen as like offensive and negative. So what I'm saying has a lot of grounds. Okay, what I'm saying has a lot of grounds in regards to our people, you know. And I was looking at a good friend of mine, a couple weeks ago. He has very, very dark skin, and I think it's amazing. I think that it's, I gotta think for melanin. I'm not afraid to say it. Um, and I was looking at him, and I was thinking, like, wow, in Europe, children this kind of complexion are getting to be less and less and less. Out here in the UK, for instance, interracial, it's huge. Mixed race children is huge. And so basically, if the black man and the black woman are not getting together, okay, and reproducing together, then that means, the black child for the future, the young black man for the future, the young black female, we're changing it right now, because we don't want to have these conversations. We don't want to tell our children, hey, look, the cornerstone of the black community is the black family. Okay, that is the black female and the black male together, having a family, having children. And these are the reasons why. Okay, these are the reasons why. And make it very plain and make it very clear. You see, because a lot of our young people nowadays, they don't understand the reality of the world they're living in. I have a lot of questions for you guys. But for instance, have you ever seen a very dark black young lady or black male, or sometimes African migrants, and you will see that they're completely surrounded by non-black people. Their entire circle of people is non-black. Okay. And it's almost as if they are unaware that they too themselves are black. I've seen that in so many situations. And the reality is, we're giving our children an unrealistic comparison. You're comparing apples and oranges. The beauty in us being unique is the beauty in us being unique. For those of you guys that are religious, the Bible says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. in his image. That means the way that you were made, the color of your skin, that dark skin, that melanin, that means that you were made in the image of God and you were fearfully and wonderfully crafted. That means that, again, going back to the Bible, nothing broken, nothing missing, nothing lacking. All right. You are, for all intents and purposes, complete. Now, society is telling you something different, but the facts are the facts. And the reality is, guys, listen. What better psychological game to play than you, the holder of something magnificent, you, the holder of something beautiful, you, the holder of something unique, you, the holder of something that cannot be duplicated. Okay, they can duplicate many things that are indigenous to our people by now. Okay, they also study and copy whatever we create, from music to dances to art to hair. In some cases, they try to, emulate our complexions. Those of us that are fair or whatever, they use tan lotions, they use all makeup, they do all kind of stuff to emulate our people, right? But the innate parts of our people, they cannot duplicate. So for that, they have made us feel that it's inferior. They've made us feel that there's something wrong with us. But what better psychological game to play to get you to abandon the very thing or the very things that makes you special and makes you unique? We need to start having the conversation with our young people about how important it is that we continue to practice the things that makes us unique and that we develop a preference. Hello, if you guys heard me, that we develop a preference for our own people, our own culture, our own homelands. Now, listen. The non-Black people will begin to contest with you when you start preferring your own people, places, and things. They will say that you're racist. They will say that you're mean. They will say that you're a bigot. But guess what? All you got to say is it's self-preservation and extinction. Even a child can understand why there's no more dinosaurs. Huh? Even a child can get it. Children are very smart. You tell them, hey, the dinosaurs were dealing with, the dinosaurs stopped preferring their own. Okay, the dinosaurs, I mean, you can get creative with it because, I'm a very creative person. You can tell the kid, hey, you know what, mommy, daddy, why are there no more dinosaurs? Well, son, daughter, niece, nephew, cousin, the dinosaurs stopped preferring their own people. What do you mean? Well, the dinosaurs said, hey, you know what? We don't like those strong female independent dinosaurs. They're too difficult. We can't deal with them. They're too much drama. And you know what? We don't like these, these type of male dinosaurs. They're just overbearing and they're just so difficult. We don't like them. We're going to go get with an elephant instead. Okay, we're going to go ahead and crossbreed and get with a monkey, or we're going to get with a gorilla. And, because the reality is, while we are strategically not choosing our partners for whatever reasons you guys are coming up with, okay, because I can't group myself in with this. I'm just a messenger to talk to you people because I look at my peers and I don't know what the hell is going on in their minds. Okay, but you guys have been sold lies and you have believed them. You have thought that your own counterpart is your enemy, and you have begun to ingest and do the work, do the dirty work for your enemy yourself. Okay, now, mind you, we're still being externally attacked. Okay, while all this wahala and chaos is happening in our own communities and in our own homeland, we're also still being externally attacked. That means we're being attacked on both ends of the spectrum. Do you guys not understand what extinction means? Not only did the dinosaurs stop finding interest in their counterparts, okay, the only people that can help them perpetuate their seed into the future Okay. A black woman who wants to have a black child, the only person that can give her that seed is another black man. A black man that wants a black, black children, the only person he can pair up with that has that egg is another black woman. But y'all acting like you can get it anywhere, huh? You guys are also acting like mixed race counts. Now, check this out. Look at how many mixed race people identify themselves. Do they identify themselves as black? Or do they identify themselves as mixed race? And in many cases, they will completely even negate their black side and just assimilate into the non-black world of whom they're a part of. These are all the facts. Listen, it's an unpopular opinion. You can get mad with me, all that you want, but just look at the facts. Look at the facts, because a lot of you guys have bought this. All right. So the dinosaurs, on their own, voluntarily stopped mating with each other, okay, or whatever. Then they were still being hunted by hunters. They were maybe their natural habitat was reducing, whatever, global warming, I don't know. Because we got to ask the question, where the hell are the dinosaurs? Guys, when you get to the continent and you look at, I live in Accra, okay? You look at the youth on the continent and you talk to some of them. You talk to the university students, or you even talk to the young students. Okay, they're growing up without an understanding of how precious their culture is, without being promoted to speak their native language. They're being promoted to speak foreign languages such as French, such as English, that is going to make them more astute. That's going to give them more opportunities. They're basically being groomed to go abroad. Okay, what is available in their own backyard, they don't even know it. Children in Ghana, are they even traveling around Ghana? Do they even see the waterfalls? Do they even go up north? Do they even know any depth to their country? I've seen here on YouTube many times when diasporans go to the continent and they begin to travel a particular country, you'll see those countrymen say, wow, I've never even been there. You've been to more places in Ghana or Kenya than I have been. Yet and still, when we grow up in America, we have field trips. Well, I can't speak. I grew up a while ago. But I know when I was growing up, we had field trips to the White House. We went to Martha's Vineyard. Some people went to the Grand Canyon. They went to the State House. They traveled a bit within the states, to see historical things. They went to Niagara Falls and, this kind of things, these landmarks that are supposed to be so important in the States. I remember we went to the Alamo in Texas. We went to this Alamo. Look, guys, it's a very simple thing to understand. I hope that I have had a thought-provoking conversation with you. A lot of you guys are parents. You need to have this conversation with your kids. I wish that we were proactive about this. Do you think the Jews don't have conversations with their kids about, hey, we want you to marry someone of the faith. We want you to marry someone from Israel. We want our family lines to go forward. We want our family businesses to go forward. It's not by chance that they have economic power. It's not by chance. Do you think that they don't educate their kids? Do you think they don't tell them, we want you to marry another Jewish person? You're always going to have the anomalies. But you see, at the rate that we are participating in this culture destruction, our own culture destruction, it leads me to understand that we are not expressing our preferences to our children. We are not having this conversation because we don't want to seem like, we're being too controversial and this and that. Listen, okay? Our young people are our stake in the future. Simple. If you don't care about the fate of Black people in the future, then this message isn't for you. If you don't care about the continent, if you don't think that culture is just amazing. Like me, I love, for instance, Ghana. Okay. One of the things culturally I love, for instance, is kente cloth. Hello. I love kente cloth. I think it's amazing. Who's going to be making the kente cloth in 20 years if we're not passing on those trade secrets and showing our kids? Now, look, we'll gladly show a foreigner how to do these things. Okay, we have no code. We'll let the Chinese come to Ghana and buy land, all for what? For money. But guess what? If you try to go to China and get trade secrets as a black man or black woman, will they give it to you? And black people talk about this all the time, but there's no cohesion. So when you go to the nail shop and they mistreat you, and your ass goes right back. And you talk about how the other communities, they have cohesion and they support each other, but you don't support your own. And you talk about how important the black family is, but you don't have your own or whatever. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Thank you, Antoinette, for that super chat. Be like Antoinette and show some support, because, I don't know, Google, get here on YouTube. How many black YouTubers are talking about self-preservation? I see a lot of them promoting interracial relationships, trans, homo. Are they telling you the truth? Okay. It's very clear and simple here on my channel what I'm about. Okay. In short, I'll put it in my cousin's words. Okay. I'm for anything, the edification and growth of the black family and community. Okay. I support behaviors and mentalities that will promote us to the future. Okay. The behaviors that are heavily being promoted to our people worldwide are not in the best interest of our people. And you guys keep thinking that it's a game. Okay. Either just complete denial, cognitive dissonance, religious blindness. I don't know what it is. You think these people are playing with you. They keep licking shots. They keep doing it over and over and over again. They keep letting you know that their intention is not for your good, but you keep thinking, well, Gina, one common saying I hear from my peers is, well, Gina, not everybody's bad. They're not all bad. They don't even need to all be bad. Let me tell you, they're more than 50% bad. I'm just being honest. Okay, mathematically, if a number is more than 5, you round up. We have millions of demonstrations of how these people have done strategic measures against our people. If for some reason we were not strong and superior, we certainly would be extinct like the dinosaurs and other ethnic populations. Let's talk about the Native Americans. If we have any Americans in the room, you guys can throw up your USA flag, because this part is for you. When the Europeans came to the United States and claimed that they discovered it, it was already populated by Native Americans. Now, right now in America, you would be hard pressed to find a Native American. I remember the first time I saw a Native American living in Columbus, Ohio. I was 25 years old the very first time I saw the Native American. There's even areas around Ohio that are named after Native Americans, such as Chattahoochee River. I think that's in America. Ohio. Hold on. There's one place I can't think of the name. Oh. But anyway, they got these Native American names in Ohio that I later learned were Native American names. I think there's a river and a lot of Ohio had Chattahoochee is not. I don't think that Chattanooga not attached. I can't think of it. Sorry. Look, y'all. I've been out the States a long time ago. But the bottom line is there are, all kind of towns, rivers communities that are named after these Native American people. Okay. And your friends, huh? Because a lot of you guys always like, well, Gina, they're not bad. They're not all bad. They don't gotta all be bad. I'm sorry. Enough of them was bad. Enough of them was bad. Like Michael, they've been bad historically through the times, through the centuries. I feel like I have enough context to judge. And even though I won't say they're all bad, I just am aware. I'm aware of their history, and I'm cautious in my interactions with them because of what I know. And guess what, guys? What we know is a fraction of what happened. Because all of us, Black folks that grew up abroad, we know for a fact we didn't learn comprehensively our history, which means there's lots of stuff they left out that they didn't want us to know, even about their own people. But that's a different topic. I digress. The fact is that some of the same things that they have attempted on our people that were unsuccessful, such as biological warfare, okay? They used diseased blankets. They injected these blankets with a disease and gave it to the Native Americans, and it killed a lot of them. Okay. They also used weapons. All right. Obviously, the Native Americans, they had bows and arrows. They were warriors, that kind of thing. The Europeans came with their modern weapons, their cannons, their guns. Okay. So they did that. They occupied their lands and forced them out. Okay. They terrorized them. They tortured them. A lot of the same stuff, guys, that your friends, okay, attempted, they were successful with those attempts on the Native Americans, because Native Americans now are virtually extinct. Basically, they populated the whole United States, and now their population is so small, they have little bits of land called reservations in certain states. They don't even got their own state. Okay. Now, our people, somehow we've been resounding, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't pay attention to what's happening. Okay. Because other people have become extinct from these same kind of interactions with people that have just proven that their intention. Because see, while you guys aren't thinking about self-preservation, and you guys are like all this kumbaya and world peace and why can't we all get along and inclusion, your counterparts are thinking about their people first. Yeah. And that's why if it's you or them, they're always going to pick their own people. Yeah. And I know this, like I said, this conversation is uncomfortable, but I'm really concerned. Because I also recognize that currently on the continent, people are not consciously choosing their people. They're choosing people because those are who's in their demographic, which means that they are going to be open and welcoming to strangers. And that's always been a downfall of our people. Huh? I mean, we've welcomed our enemies right on in every time. I understand hospitality. I get it. Obviously, me living in Ghana, I benefit from the fact that Ghanaians have been hospitable and everything. But guys, we are not even doing any checks and balances as to who we're letting in our realm. And the first thing you got to conquer is, this is not negative talk. This is a conversation that should be normal. And I really honestly believe that if we were being taught the keystones to our success and the kind of things that we need to be doing proactively in the future, instead of just rolling the dice and letting our young people get out into the world and waste their time. Is there anybody in here that feels like, they wasted time? They were misguided or misdirected, or people didn't tell them the truth. People didn't prepare them. Because we're repeating the process for our young people. Because, those of you guys that have some awareness, hello, you need to be telling them. You need to be telling them. Yesterday, I attempted to speak to my niece Anne. If she sees this video, she's in Ohio. It's one of my favorite nieces. I spoke to her mother instead. Her mom tricked me, called me on video call, and I thought it was my niece Anne. So I was hype. That's okay. I forgive you guys. But my niece Anne knows that Auntie Gina is somebody big in Ghana. Okay. I've been talking to Anne about Africa since she was a little bitty thing. You know, when I remember I called her from South Africa on my very first trip to South Africa back in 2016. And it's the funniest story. And I'm about to start shout outs, guys. Make sure you like the stream. Moderators, let me see the counts, super chats. What's up? I'm talking a real serious topic with y'all tonight. I want y'all to share this video with your friends because we need to be doing a better job. Okay. But anyway, I remember I called Ann from South Africa on video call because at that point, when I lived in Ohio, I used to see her at least once or twice a week. I used to go to her house all the time. She would be so happy to see me. I love my niece Ann. And Auntie Gina loves, she watches my YouTube channel, so she might see this. So when I called Ann, it was dark in Ohio and it was light in South Africa because of the time difference. So she said, I said, Ann, I'm in Africa. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. She was like, Auntie, how do you turn on the sun? And I said, what? And she went to the garden and she showed me that it was dark outside, but it was obviously light in South Africa. So I was trying to explain to her, but she was a little girl at that time. But basically, I have been a part of my niece's exposure to the continent. Okay. She watches Auntie Gina on YouTube. She sees Auntie Gina. Auntie Gina contacts her from Ghana. She even knows that Anne she's one of the reasons she's one of my favorite nieces is because she's so intellectual. Okay. So one time I called her and she invited me to Bible study. She invited me to Bible study and I said, Ann, I can't. I'm in Ghana right now. And she was like, well, Auntie, how far is it? Like, how long does it take? And I said, well, if you get a direct flight, you can get there in 6 hours. And she was like, well, if you start now, you can get here by tomorrow. Ann is amazing. She is, oh God. Ann, give me a call, please, because I've been calling you. I've been texting your mom. You're always busy. You're here, there, at your friend's house, at the daycare. Listen, please. Auntie Gina loves and miss you. Okay? But the point is that exposure has a lot to do with it. In my niece's mind, Africa is not a negative place. She knows that she's got a superstar auntie that lives in Ghana, and that's what she knows. And exposure is critical. We're not imputing the right things into our young people. A lot of us are not imputing much at all. Okay, first of all, we're entrusting these people to educate our kids, which is the first and foremost mistake. And on top of that, we're not adding any context or any personalized information. A young person growing up in, this world needs to understand that they are Black. Okay, they need to understand racism. They need to understand prejudices. If you are on the continent and, your young people are going abroad, they need to understand that. They shouldn't just be landing in London in 2022 or 2023 without knowing what that means. They shouldn't be coming to America without knowing what that means. I know that traveling to the West has become really expensive and difficult for Africans. They've purposely made it really complicated for those to leave the continent and explore the world. But, ideally, exposing your child as a youth, allowing them to travel is very, very important. Because I can tell you firsthand as someone who, when I moved for college, I moved from Columbus to Cincinnati, where I went to the University of Cincinnati. I had never been to Cincinnati before in my life. And even I had a culture shock. Just 2 hours south of my hometown was very different. And when I got there, it was like, wow. So I can only imagine picking up and moving from another country without traveling ahead of time, without knowing the expectations. Guys, we should be doing better. And we're setting our young people up for failure by not having the conversation. We should let them know, hey, don't beg for a spot at the table. Create your own room. All right. It may be complex having successful relationships with our counterparts right now, but that's only because we're not on the same page. Huh? Are you telling your son how important it is that he loves and respects a Black woman? What it means to be a father? You know, are you imparting wisdom and in the know-how into him to help him become a Black man? Are you letting him know that, hey, you know, these other people, they may just be using you. They may just be preying upon you. They may be objectifying you. All the things that we know that these non-Black women want to do and do ultimately do to our men. Are you telling them about it? Are you preparing them for that? Are you raising your daughter to love and respect a Black man? Are you teaching her the skills to be a wife and mother? Are you explaining to her how essential she is to help him get to the next level and be a great man? Majority of Black men, majority of great Black men historically had Black women at their side, holding it down. You know, and I'm not talking no ride or die. I'm talking about a real adult lover and companion to each other, because that's what we need. But see, we're not having these conversations. And so when our young people become adults, it's like a needle in a haystack trying to have relationships, you know, trying to be on the same page, trying to parent, trying to do, guys, you know, we were experiencing it. Why are we not taking constructive steps to change it? And I'm gonna be honest, I'm sick of this. I am tired of my peers. You know, because what ends up happening is even you, as the one with the knowledge, you begin getting impacted by your peers' dysfunction. You know, our mothers and our grandparents and all them, you know, a lot of the reasons they didn't have to, you know, be promiscuous or date around a lot or anything like that, you know, in my opinion, was they were dating mature, you know, sophisticated and thoughtful individuals. So they were dating people that had more of the same mindset. Okay. I know when it comes to my grandparents, some of them, you know, my grandmothers, I mean, their husbands was probably their first romantic experience. But the men understood, okay, if I love this woman, I should marry her, you know, or if she gets pregnant from me. I mean, a lot of them weren't even having premarital sex, to be honest. But if they did get pregnant, they understood, okay, this is my child. I need to be with the mother of my child. I need to create a family. It wasn't really an option. You know, now we have the complete inverse where people, you know, live a lifestyle of irresponsibility. And they just wasting time, dating. Look, you know, the truth is, another truth, this is not the topic I came to talk to y'all about, but another truth is there is no perfect partner. There is no perfect partner. Something is wrong with every last one of us. Some people have more problems than the others. In order for you to be successful in a relationship, it takes commitment. You just decide, you know what? I'm about to ride this wave. You know, I done put a lot of time into this person. I love this person. We have children. I mean, a lot of times when you're in a committed relationship, you have so many reasons why you should try your best to make that relationship work. This is why the marriage rate is going down. This is why committed relationships going down, because we're not committed. You know, we're not committed. We're not resilient. We're not serious. We're not thoughtful individuals that, you know, think about the big picture. Because at the end of the day, you have this person that you got into a marriage with. I mean, I'm going to assume you loved the person, you were into the person, whatever. You saw something you liked, enough to get engaged, enough to get married. The truth is that now that that relationship is over, and you know, ultimately you're going to get back into the dating game, you got to start all over again. You got to start all over. What's your favorite color? What do you like eating? You know, where did you go to school? What do your parents do? I mean, it's tiring. It's tiring. That's how I feel about it. You know, I feel like I might as well put my effort into, you know, this individual and just try to make it work. But you see, I've gotten out of off on a tangent. I'm getting ready to wrap up now. But the bottom line is, guys, we're not giving our young people the right tools. We're not. We're not. We can look at our community, we can look at our homeland, we can look at the young people, and it's very, very obvious that we are not giving them the tools. And these other communities are running circles around our community. I'm sorry. They are running circles because their young people are equipped and prepared on a different level at the same age. You know, they take it seriously about education. Do you think the Chinese are letting anybody educate their kids? Do you think that they're I don't even I would be willing to barter. There's not even a British school in China or Japan. You know, they're kind of picky about what even teachers they want to teach English to their students. But we give the whole institution of our young people to someone else, and then we wonder why there's so much chaos in our community. Hello. Hello. You know, do you think that if we had, you know, strong and serious black men teaching our young black men how to be men, that we would have the quality of men that we're having? And ladies, you're not off the hook because a lot of these women are crazy too. Real talk. You know, we have external things that we're dealing with, but internally we're also creating more and more discord and chaos for ourselves. And I just got to say it, as a part of this community, I am sick. I'm tired. You know, I should not be a dissenting voice because I talk reason. I talk truth. Why should I be a minority? But I am. And why is that? Well, because this kind of information is not being imparted the way that it should be. You know, our young black men and women need to know that they are not enemies. Okay? Our young black men and women need to know how to be responsible. We need to equip them with the skill set to be responsible. Our people used to be responsible. Our people used to start families. All those couple goals and all that stuff that you guys talk about, you know, them old school romances and all that. Yeah. Why were they successful? Well, they were equipped. They were equipped. An 18-year-old, you know, our 18-year-old grandmother, when she got married, she knew how to run a house. Okay. She knew how to take care of a newborn baby. She knew how to respond to her husband and all of that. She knew. Right out the gate, she knew. You know, now don't get me wrong. There were situations where, you know, the situations were, you know, there are some people that dealt with abuse and all this stuff. But I'm telling you, I think the attitude, you know, the attitude and um, perspective was just different because our grandparents and our parents were thinking about us in a way that our modern day generation is not thinking about the future at all. You know, those previous generations were willing to sacrifice for their kids and try to position their families. A lot of us, you know, that have migrant parents. I mean, when you think about how colossal that is, Some of our parents moved away from their homelands when they were young people or whatever, went to the military at a young age, and kind of forfeited their own life and their own dreams for their children, thinking, yeah, it's going to be a better life, it's going to be more opportunities. What the hell are we doing in 20? What the hell are we doing for these young people? What are we doing? Last October, when I was in Columbus, Ohio, visiting family, I did 2 presentations at the high school. I simply asked my friends on Facebook. I have a lot of friends that are teachers. I said, hey, can I come and see the youth and talk to them about the continent? I went and did 2 presentations within a 2-week period of time. That was during COVID. That was during lockdown. I was supposed to go to another school, but because of the COVID protocols, I couldn't go to the other school. I spoke to upperclassmen. Okay, so juniors and seniors. The way they were so enamored with me, the way they hung on to my every word, let me know that probably I'm the first and only person that's even exposed such things to these young people. And to me, that is pitiful. And me, I'm not even a teacher. A lot of you guys is way more professional than me and way more educated than me and way more, you got a lot going on. And what have you done? Have you even been inside a local school in your community? Do you spend any time at all with the youth? If you have children, is the conversation, hi mom, oh, how was school? Okay, you need to clean up your room and do your home. Is that the extent? Are you talking real time with them? Did you sit down with them and say, hey, how are you feeling psychologically after these protests in the city, George Floyd getting gunned down? What I want to know what's going on in your mind. Because it's very important, guys, having these discussions. Prevention is better than cure. Okay? We are reactive as a people, and that is not helping us get ahead. Dealing with the problem after the problem comes, dealing with the fallout, dealing with the residual, dealing with all the problems. And no. Attack it at the root today, right now, because I am tired and I'm sick. I'm sick of y'all. You actually, my people is making my life hard. Because if I were to sell out, which everybody would say, well, Gina, I don't want you to sell out. I could become a millionaire overnight. All I need to do is go get me some kind of clown snowflake husband, huh? Start making YouTube couple videos on here, make $1 million. Channel blow up like next week. Because I'm staying black and true. It's so hard. It shouldn't be that hard for me to stay black and true. Huh? It shouldn't be that hard for me to connect with other people that understand that we got the juice. Because it's factual. But because our people's minds are so corrupted, I struggle. I'm the truth, but I struggle to find counterparts because everybody else's mind is polluted with nonsense. Nonsense, false hopes and dreams that will never come to pass. I got to tell you, and I'm going to wrap up now. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Listen, guys, and this is a rule of thumb for your entire life. Okay, this is a rule of thumb for your entire life. I'm sorry I couldn't do shout outs. I'm sorry. If you are not actively working towards your goals and dreams, they will never come to pass. Okay? No one is coming to save you. People may aid you, and abet you along the journey. And to those people, especially in my case, to those of you guys that have aided me along my journey, I am deeply grateful. But we also have to acknowledge the fact that I'm on the journey. I'm on the journey. I couldn't move to Ghana if I wasn't actively preparing myself and setting the stage. I don't care if you guys donated 10,000 pounds into my bank account. Guess what? If I didn't have a passport or visa, place to live, any game plan, ship my items, it won't happen. I had to actively be working on all the things that I'm doing and producing in order to get those things accomplished. And the fact that I'm actively working on my dreams and goals is an indication that I'm serious about getting them achieved. And even when I don't have the support, because I'm actively working on them, I eventually make progress in the things that I'm working on. We've been sold a story and a lie that these things are just going to happen and it's going to be karma. Guys, to be honest, a lot of you guys, the problems you're having, the problems you've been perpetually having, you probably could solve if you were pouring your energy and attention onto that problem. But you're not. You're misguiding your energy, you're misguiding your efforts and your income and, everything. So guess what? Your problems are not even getting the attention that they need. We are not promoted in self-preservation, and that I can attribute so much chaos in our community to that very fact. But we can have some impact if we start now and today. And I want to give a super big shout outs to those of us on the continent with the right intentions, because we're walking it like we talk it. The same way that I've had influence over many, many people, the same way that my nieces and nephews, any of y'all that are, any of you guys that live with my nieces and nephews know how they love Auntie Gina. I'm not making it up. Okay. My nieces and nephews, them alone, I've done my due diligence because they are the future. Okay. I have had a positive influence on the young people in my lives to help them understand their options, to see the bigger picture, all of this stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing? In the same way I come here all the time on YouTube and I repeat and tell the same stories and all of that stuff. You got to do it. Okay. Repetition is what makes you learn and what makes you understand. Those of us grew up in America, we used to have to say the Pledge of Allegiance every single day. They didn't say, we couldn't tell our teacher, I ain't trying to say this Pledge of Allegiance because we say it every day and y'all broke up. No. They made us say it every single day and it's in our mind. Right now, I haven't said the Pledge of Allegiance in probably decades, and if they start saying it, I probably still remember it because of repetition. So keep on saying it. Keep on telling them. Keep on showing them the pictures, whatever. Keep on making them, forcing them to travel. If they say they don't want to travel and oh, Mom, I don't want to go to Ghana this summer because I got my friends are here. It doesn't matter. Okay, you're the parent, you're in control, and you, in some cases, hopefully, know the best. For your kids, we got to take the reins, guys. It's just like a horse. If you don't take the rein and you let the horse go, he's probably going to run away and gallop all over the pastures and all of that stuff. That's why they got reins, so you can kind of control it. Say, okay, no, we're going to walk straight. We're going to walk over the bridge. We're going to do this and that. Okay? Okay. All right. So I have talked today to y'all. So big shout outs to everybody who was here. I hope you guys have liked the stream. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. Once again, head over to theafricansuperstar.com. Big shout outs to Antoinette for that super chat. She's our super chat donor. I appreciate it because I'm having this conversation. I need to have this conversation with you guys because my peers I'm just disappointed, to be at this age and see how immature some of you are, how your perspective, your victim mentality. And I mean, it's just so unattractive. And you don't realize that you have the power in your hand to change things in your life. You know? So a big shout out to the African Superstar family. All right, family. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.